Hello, this is nataliezangan. So it's been a while that I've been wanting to do this video. So tonight, finally, I had a little time to do it. I'm doing this video as our support group for those of us that are studying for the Mft Clinical exam. And whoever has taken it knows what a journey it is to take that exam. It's not a joke. I've taken it myself before, and God willing, hoping to pass it very soon. And many of us have finished schooling years ago, and you cannot sit down for the Mft Clinical unless you've passed the law and ethics, you've done your 3,000 hours. So it could be like years after you finish graduate school that now you have to go back and sit down and take this Mft Clinical boards. And also, many of us choose the field of therapy because we are very like right hemisphere and we're right minded. We're very, most of us are very like artistic, emotional, in tune, like feeling things. We're not always very like academic, pro at test takers and memorizing. I mean, everybody has their own style, but the test, the boards are very like textual and very factual and very, there's no like, let me think about it, emotional tunement or things like that. You got to answer the test exactly like the board wants you to answer it and exactly the way they want you to think. And there's no way around it. If you don't answer it the way they want you to answer it, you will get it wrong. And it's 170 questions, 4 hours of sitting there and like just screening these questions that deals with anything and everything from crisis management, clinical evaluation, theoretical orientation, law and ethic. And you have to be quick. You're time bounded. You have a limited of time. You cannot give every vignette all the attention you want because you're not going to have enough time. And then two of the answers are so closely possible that now you have to like make the right judgment. And we are like therapists. We think about every client as a whole world. We give values, we give empathy, we give ourselves, we give attention to the cases. But the board and the exam, you need to be quick. You need to think of an answer fast, robotic, and keep going. Because if you get stuck and overly analyze, you'll lose time. And if you lose time, you'll lose the questions that you have to answer. And again, you'll end up back into not finishing the board. So after taking this a few times, I decided that this year around, I'm going to be more proactive and I'm going to try my best to study it with colleagues, with other people that are taking the boards with me. And I told myself I am not going to let that label of fail get to me and identify who I am as a clinician. It's just an exam that I did not pass. You do not become the entity of that fail. You are not a failure just because we did not pass this academic test taking. Some of us don't have as much abilities and skills with test taking as other people do. And the boards is not like extremely accommodating with like different types of learning style. The most of the accommodation that they give is more time, a lot more like longer hours. So even with that, I feel like in addition to tutors and these wonderful mock exam, I feel like a support group was the best thing that we were able to create, where we could dialogue, discuss, and explore and rationalize why this answer, not that answer, and better understand it with each other, because we became therapists because we are all about the relationship and connection. That's why we chose this field. We did not choose this field because we wanted to be isolated, robotic um, mathematician. We did it because of the relationship. So I'm really excited. It's been a wonderful group, and a lot of people have been studying with us and passing, and it's just been, some are trying again, and it's just been really wonderful and supportive. So some of the note ideas that I have for myself is that when you take the test and you get ready to go in to take the test, you got to leave your empathetic, kind, caring, loving therapist side in the car and go in there as a BBS, robotic, rational test taker. That it's not about you overly empathizing with every vignette. It's about becoming that robotic BBS rational test taker, like thinking exactly like how the board wants us to think. So that makes a big difference on how you see every vignette. And every question that you look at and you're about to answer, before jumping into the answer, you got to make sure that there's no medical factors there. So I always say you got to think of like a prudent, competent father, mother, or a teacher. When a child comes to you and says their stomach hurts, you can ask them when was the last time they used the bathroom. So you do not go into thinking they're nervous without making sure that physically everything has been working okay. So that's the same thing when a vignette is presented. You got to make sure to rule out any medical, physical, physician, when was your last doctor exam, before you go into your therapeutic, theoretical approach and orientation. And before answering the vignette, you want to rule out, is there any crisis situation happening? Is there anything being discussed about substance or drug abuse? Also, what about basic needs? Is the client's basic needs being met, or anything about that being mentioned? Not eating right, not sleeping right. Again, going back to the medical aspect. Is the client presenting with anything that's going to make me think they are gravely disabled or suicidal? Because that's much important than a theoretical orientation. Is the vignette presenting something that I might have to report? And is the vignette presenting something that has to do with domestic violence? And also, who's my unit of treatment? When we read the vignette, we got to make sure we pay attention to who's being presented in the vignette. Is it the client? Is it the couple? Is it the family? Who is our unit of treatment? And have that in mind as we're answering it. More videos to follow. Thank you so much for watching.